Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Dragonfable. It will be a bit different than normal, not only because I am once again ducking the possibility of actually doing the inn. I will also be recording some audio that I will use in a later video. Or well, series of videos, as today we will be taking on Adventure Friends 2, Adelia. Let's get started. With day 1. Right. Record. Congratulations, Jaina. You have been chosen to attend the prestigious and honorable Adelia School of Weaving. Your application was chosen from a pool of many promising candidates, and I am proud to offer you a spot in our next class of students. Here, you will not only learn the basics of weaving, you will forge bonds and make connections with your fellow talented students that will last long after your time here is over. Should you decide to accept, we look forward to meeting you in the coming semester. Once again, congratulations and welcome to Adelia. Daniel Dano, Headmaster. Greetings, students. Welcome to your first day of class here at the prestigious Adelia School of Weaving. I am Dr. Secundus, and I have what appears to be the sincere displeasure of perhaps instructing you all in the basics of weaving in this semester. In this course, you may or may not learn the joys and perils of weaving, the satisfaction and the dangers. It all depends on the amount of effort you are willing to put into your studies. Or your natural talents. Hello, mortal. Okay. Or your natural talents. Names. Let us begin with names and roll call. I shall call a name, you shall briefly introduce yourself when called. Alexander. Hi, I'm Alexander. I'll admit I was worried I might have some competition here, but looking at all of you, well, you can always ask me for help with the homework. Jarmilla. Please call me Maz. You're all my classmates? I'm sure we're going to get along just fine. Valen. Hello, I'm Valen. Let's have a good semester together, yes? If you ever need any help with anything, I'm your guy. Faye. Hi, I'm Faye. I look forward to getting to know you all. Percival. I prefer Val, if it's all the same to you. Dak.
Hiya, Tech here. I come from pretty far away, so I'm sorry if I mess up or get anything wrong. Dr. Secundus, when can I get my hands on some spirit looms? I want to see if there was anything I could maybe tinker with, you know? I learn best hands-on, you see. Dr. Secundus?
Jaina. Dr. Secundus fixes his eyes on you, all 4 of them. You can feel your fellow students watching you as well, each with their own expectations. How will you introduce yourself to the class? Let's see. Since we're doing Faye first, let's just start with Shy. That matches. So. I'm Jaina. And finally, Tomix. Tomix. There's no one else here, sir. Another disappearance. Headmaster Daniel will not be pleased.
Very well. To begin, we must start with what weaving is and is not.
Hold on. What do you mean, another disappearance?
At its core, weaving is creation, creativity, the formation of substance from mind and soul. Yes, elementary. But what is this about students disappearing? I don't want to be disappeared.
You heard the lady. If there's something going on that could affect us, we should know.
The matter is being handled by the appropriate authorities. There is nothing to be concerned about regarding disappearances. You say there's nothing to be concerned about, but if Tomix was meant to be in this class and he finished, then what happened to him? Sounds like a mystery.
Let's all calm down. I'm sure the teachers are doing everything in their power to find out what's going on. The classroom quickly descends into chaos as Dr. Secundus watches, seemingly bored and making little to no attempt at regaining control of the class. If this keeps up, you won't be able to learn weaving. What will you say?
What if I'm next? That's what I'm saying. The students are disappearing, right? What happens to them? Where do they go? Imagine all horrible things that could be.
A silence falls upon the classroom as everyone wonders how to proceed. Dr. Secundus seizes the opportunity to take a deep breath and continue his lecture.
I understand your concern, but let us put this behind us and proceed with the lesson, if we can.
Reluctantly, everyone settles down. Reluctantly, everyone settles down.
Throughout history, there have and have not been multiple instances of weaving. Throughout history, there have and have not been multiple instances of the weaving of fiber spontaneously emerging in different cultures. Whether it be plant or animal fiber,
There appears to be an instinctive, innate desire to weave and create. Dr. Secundus continues to drone, and you find yourself drifting to sleep. Jaina. Jaina, I need you. Jaina! I expected better of new students than to slip into dreams in the middle of the first day of class, Jaina. Let's redo that. I expect better of new students than to slip into dreams in the middle of the first day of class, Jaina.
Dream anything sweet?
Maybe she just had a long night. I know I was rather nervous last evening. Disappointing. Adelia is a prestigious academy. You should be bringing your best. I'd have nudged you awake, but you just looked so cute sleeping like that.
I don't know how you could have fallen asleep. This lecture has been absolutely gripping.
Ha! How embarrassing.
The condescension of your peers shall suffice as punishment for now, perhaps. But do not let me catch you sleeping in my classroom again. I may or may not have a more severe punishment for repeat offenders. You can't quite tell how serious Dr. Secundus is, with your new classmates' comments still echoing in your ears. How will you respond? If that could possibly be the last of the disruptions in today's class, I shall continue with what I was saying. It is traditional for classes of students here in Adelia to consist of 8 students, divided into pairs. Such groupings are essential for learning how to trust and bond with new allies. Each of such groupings are, traditionally, named after one of the school's guardian creatures: wolf, hawk, raven, and dragon. Do we get to choose who we're paired with? I have a few candidates I had my eye on already, if so. That would be so much pressure. I don't know if I could.
I shall determine for you. If your pairing has problems, please speak to Headmaster Daniel. I couldn't care less. Retake. If your pairing has problems, speak to Headmaster Daniel. I couldn't care less. Sure, works for me. I will be expecting the most out of whoever I'm paired with. Let's begin with Wolf. That will be Valen and Maz. Understood. I look forward to getting to know you better, Maz. Nice. Raven shall have Tech and Val.
Ravens are clever. I like it.
You're smart, right? Works for me. And Alexander and Faye for Hawk. So it goes.
Oh, okay.
Which leaves Dragon, Jaina, and... that's right. Tomix refused to show up. I may or may not have forgotten. Well, we can't have you on your own. That would defeat the purpose of the exercise. In that case, perhaps we can eschew tradition. You may choose a group to join, Jaina, or I can decide for you, if such a task is beyond your limited capabilities. You can feel everyone's eyes on you as you consider your options. Will you join the wolf group with Valen and Maz? Or the raven? Right, retake. You can feel everyone's eyes on you as you consider your options. Will you join the wolf group with Valen and Maz? The raven group with Tak and Val? Or the hawk group with Faye and Alexander?
I'll go with Hawk. Oh, oh. Okay, welcome.
I think this can work. Good. Lecture finished, groups assigned, class dismissed. Do try to show up to class tomorrow. Or not. Dr. Secundus hastily leaves the room without another word, leaving you and your new classmates to consider your situation. You look around nervously. Dr. Secundus's offhand dismissal of the disappearance of one of your fellow students has everyone on edge. So, we obviously can't trust the teachers to get to the bottom of this, right? Clearly, it appears that this has been an ongoing problem, and yet even up to now students are going missing.
Dr. Secundus seems a bit scatterbrained, but definitely not incompetent. The faculty are probably doing their best to keep Adelia safe.
Well, it's not enough. Now, I like all of you, and I'm sure I would have liked that Tomix fellow too. I don't want to come to class tomorrow and find any of you gone. Maybe they just don't care enough. Weaving can get dangerous, right? So what if a student or two is lost?
What if the teachers are in on it? Can we even trust them? What if we're all just here to be... I don't know.
Face stuttering fades into silence. Can you trust the faculty? Can you trust each other? Will you break the silence?
It's up to us to stop the disappearances.
Oh, I guess it couldn't be easy, could it? You could stand to be more enthusiastic, Val. It's not just our safety on the line, it's yours as well. Sure.
It's all well and good to say that we'll handle it, but we don't even have a plan. Anyone have any ideas?
I barely even know you.
Why should I trust you to watch my back? That's true. We've suspected everyone but ourselves. Very unlikely, but I suppose it's not out of the realm of possibility. Oh, that would be an exciting twist, Tag, but also kind of scary.
I guess Alexander has a point. All we can really do is keep an eye on each other until we get to know one another better. Let us hope that no one else will disappear before class tomorrow. With that, everyone heads back to their dorms alone, with doubts and fears echoing in their minds. But as you're walking along the hall, you feel as though someone is watching you. A familiar presence. A fellow student or something worse. Quickly, you turn and find...
Hi, Jane. You dropped your pencil earlier and I thought you'd want it back?
Faye holds out a pencil to you that you're not sure if it's yours or not, but she appears to earnestly believe it belongs to you. She glances around nervously. How will you respond?
Thanks, Faye. You're welcome. Do you mind walking me back to my dorm? I was going to ask Maz, but she ran off before I could.
You are sure, Faye, that it will be no problem. After a brief and relatively quiet walk to Faye's dorm, she turns and gives you what you think is a quick smile from under her mask before disappearing into her room. You head back to your own room, basking in the evening light. After an eventful day, you enter your room and crawl into bed. You close your eyes, waiting for tomorrow, but sleep doesn't find you. You toss and turn, shifting and rolling, until, at last, end of day 1. Stop this recording. Save this one as Adelia Faye day 1. And then a new project. Track, insert new track, arm for recording. And so we have gotten day 1 done. Okay, this is day 1 done. I am probably going to also record this all again off stream when I actually know the timing of everything, because music is kind of important to have continuous, and for my first project it didn't really matter because most of the transitions were covered by sound effects anyway. But for this one I want to have it going perfectly, so I'll edit the audio and then use that to time where my skips should be. Now then, let's get started with day 2. Arm for recording and record. Day 2. So, if 50 minutes pass and the teacher doesn't show up, we can leave, right?
Is that true? Sounds risky.
Excuse me for a second while I go and ban someone on Twitch. Because... report... bot account... It's a big follow spot. Banned and blocked. So yeah, I had a bot show up in my Twitch chat. Whoops.
Is that true? Sounds risky.
Of course it's not true. But if you want to risk your grade and your education, that's up to you. Let's see. According to the syllabus, we're supposed to be taught by a Professor Isiri today.
No way. Isiri? The Isiri? You've heard of her?
You haven't? She's one of, no, the premier fashion designer this side of the Pescar Ocean.
Oh, I think I've heard the name before.
Sounds like a wonderful opportunity. More like a dream come true. Never could I have imagined we'd be taught simple weaving by the legendary Aziri. Sure, on the bright side, it looks like we're all here. No one else has gone missing. You're not Aziri. Clearly not. I apologize for my lateness. I am Headmaster Daniel and I shall be your instructor for this class, starting today. Not Professor Isiri? Is there an echo in this room? No, Professor Isiri is indisposed. As headmaster, it is my duty to fill in the gap. As headmaster, it is my duty to fill in the gaps where needed. Understood, headmaster. And may I say, what an honor it is to... Wait. Headmaster? Like the dude at the top of the school? Headmaster Daniel rubs his forehead in exasperation. He apparently isn't used to such simple lines of questioning. Yes, I'm sorry, you were accepted. Re-record? Yes, I'm sorry, you all were accepted as students here, yes, to Adelia, prestigious school of weaving.
Got the letter and everything, signed by you, with all the congratulations and stuff.
Mine is framed. I think a talk got to mine.
I might have lost mine, sorry.
We had class with Dr. Secundus yesterday, actually. Oh, I see. You're that class. I suppose with all the rumors flying about, it is only expected that there would be some anxieties. Dr. Secundus has informed me of your situation. As headmaster, I want to reassure you that we're doing all in our power to prevent any more disappearances. You can trust us to keep you safe.
You're not looking for Tomix?
Hold on. If you're here and Isiri isn't, then would that mean... Yes. It's not only the students that have been affected. Professor Isiri went missing sometime this morning.
No.
Another twist to the puzzle. All of the students begin muttering among themselves at this revelation. Headmaster Daniel looks over the scared and worried faces of the students before him and sighs deeply. You must not let these tragedies distract you from your studies. Your time here at Adelia is shorter than you think, and I would hate to have it be wasted on matters outside of your concern. If we can all settle down, please turn to page 6 of Applied Weaving for Beginners. Threads to follow. With a few residual matters, everyone reluctantly opens their books and begins taking notes. But as Headmaster Danielle begins describing the appropriate use of basic materials, you feel your eyelids grow heavy as you drift into sleep. I know you can hear me. You awaken with a jolt, being shaken awake by your fellow students. They're all crowded around your desk. Headmaster Daniel seems to have already concluded his lecture and left for whatever business calls for a headmaster. How disrespectful. I'm sure she was just tired. I get it. Sometimes you need a nap. Are you okay, Jaina? You look a little pale. Are you okay, Jaina? You look a little pale. You look up at the worried faces of your peers, all looking quite concerned for you and nervously waiting for a response. Maybe I'm getting sick. Oh, no, that wouldn't be good, especially in your first week. You don't have to make any excuses. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, Jaina. We need your help to get to the bottom of whatever's going on. About that, now that everyone is awake and present, we should discuss what we're going to do. Agreed. The disappearance of students and faculty presents the greatest challenge to our education here. It's certainly the most major concern at the moment, but what can we do? We're all just new students. We can't weave or anything. Normally, I'd be all up for just letting whatever happens happen. But yeah, this probably isn't a good thing. Yeah, we can't let this continue. We have to try. You find yourself nodding along. If the teachers aren't able to control the situation, it's up to the students. Seems we're all in agreement then. Now, so... Seems we're all in agreement then. So now we gotta figure out what to do next. Whatever or whoever is causing the disappearances has to be connected to the school. First things first. Do we even... First things first. Do we even know we can trust each other? What if one of us is responsible? This again. That can't be it, Alexander. Dr. Secundus told us that Tomic's disappearing was just another in a string of them, which means they must have started before we showed up, I think. Right. So, Asma said, we have to find out what's causing the problem. We also have to try to stop more people from vanishing. I'm more curious about why the phenomenon is happening. There is a pause as everyone considers how best to proceed. Looks like you all can't decide again.
What if we tried splitting up into the groups Dr. Secundus assigned? With how many of us there are, it might help to focus rather than argue. A surprisingly solid suggestion, Mas. Watch it, boy. Smaller groups sound nice. Works for me.
I suppose that would be for the best.
Everyone splits off into their pairs in different areas of the classroom, and shaking off the last vestiges of your earlier nap, you make your way over to your group. While you head over to the Hawk group, to find Alexander with his face buried in an open book, while Faye sits nearby in silence, staring closely at him. As you approach, Alexander closes the book with a snap, causing Faye to look around in a panic before seeing you. Editor's note, add a book snapping sound. I have enough books, that should not be a problem. Hi, Jaina. Thanks for, As Faye tries to untie her tongue, you start to wonder if Alexander was actually reading or if he was just pretending for dramatic effect. It's about time you joined us. Is everything okay? Students and faculty are disappearing and the dilemma is distracting me from my studies. So no, everything is not okay. We need to be on top of this. We need to find out why it's happening and put a stop to it. Maybe there's a pattern to the disappearances, like in the mystery novels. It's possible, but I'm certain the answer will lie in whatever secrets the school is hiding. What kind of secrets? I'm not sure yet, but a school this old and with such a long history is bound to have some dangerous things hidden in its past, right? Maybe. What if it's the vengeful spirit of a deceased student who died in a weaving accident and now haunts the school, luring unsuspecting folk to their demise in an attempt to save their eternal loneliness? What? No, I mean secrets like forbidden weaving techniques or secret experiments breaking the boundaries of reality. Ow. There is an awkward silence. Alexander wears a face of incredulity at Faye's suggestion, while Faye seems to be engrossed in scribbling something in her notebook. Looks like it is up to you to bridge the gap. What are you writing, Faye? I got an idea for a story, so I'm writing it down before I forget it. This isn't a story, it's reality. Stories are often based on reality. Right, any legends we learn about are probably embellished. Writing helps me sort things out. That's true. I will admit I would have probably taken such histories at face value. I'm sorry, Faye. I misjudged your open-minded approach as sheer illogical fallacies. But Jaina has opened my mind to the unlimited potential of such an imaginative approach. What? Okay, sounds good. You spend the rest of the afternoon poring over old tomes that Alexander had thoughtfully procured from Adelia's student library ahead of time. Unfortunately, between the three of you, you don't find any promising leads.
But Faye and Alexander seem happy enough just reading until it's time to head back to your dorms. As you settle down to rest in your bed, you think of the events of your day. The mystery has deepened. You've made friends with your group. What will tomorrow bring? End of day 2. Stop this recording, save this as Faye Day 2. And new project. Drag arm. Mute. Now then, end of day 2. Adventure Friends, day 3. Let's start this recording. Day 3. Welcome, students. I see no others of you have elected not to attend. Excuse me, Dr. Secundus. Does that mean no one else? Excuse me, Dr. Secundus. Does that mean no one else has gone missing since yesterday? I am not aware of how that pertains to today's lesson in any capacity. Now, please... Well, technically, since Tomix was a student in our class and he was one of the ones who disappeared, I think the status of any investigations into the matter is highly pertinent to our class's mental well-being. Yeah, what Dak said. Dr. Secundus, do you have any idea what could have happened to the missing people? Dr. Secundus, has anything like this happened before in Nidelia's history? Dr. Secundus, Enough! Your persistence is most irksome. No, the faculty has made little to no progress in our own investigations. This stressful matter is our top priority, after educating the students, of course. I cannot say I know what has happened to those who are no longer with us. Headmaster Daniel believes they may be recovered, but for his own reasons he declines to share his findings with the rest of the staff. As to whether a tragedy of this sort has occurred in the Delia's storied past, I cannot say. In such an ancient and revered in such an ancient and revered school, there are certainly legends muddled by time and voice. And what was your query, Faye? Nothing. I just didn't want to feel left out. If that is all... Is that really all you can tell us, sir? There's nothing else? I suppose. There is one legend that perhaps may or may not be of relevance. If I tell you this story, will you at least settle down like obedient children? The classroom is silent. Everyone wants to hear the tale, but no one wants to validate Dr. Secundus' question with an answer. I think that's acceptable, Dr. Secundus. I think we all want to hear this story. Then, listen well, or don't. Once upon a time, 4 animals lived happily together in the forest. For many years they lived in peace and harmony until One day the ground began to shake. With a mighty roar, their once tranquil forest was split in twain, swallowing all in the path of its cavernous maw. The hawk, with its knowledge of magic in the land, tried to find out why their peace was broken. The otherworldly raven, in its cleverness, sought a means to reverse the calamity. The wolf, bold as ever, dove into the pit to find the source of their woes. But the dragon was never seen again. The end. Let us return to your edification in the pursuit of weaving. Hold on. That doesn't seem related to the school at all. You're not daft. You're not that daft, Alexander. Those are the guardian creatures of Adelia. Obviously. Yeah, but Adelia is a school, not a forest. And I think we'd all have noticed if the ground was shaking and opening up and swallowing everything.
Maybe it's all a metaphor for something. It's a real puzzle, that's for sure.
I did say that it only may relate to the issues at hand. I would ask that any other off-topic speculation please remain until after class. So, back to today's lesson. Last class we most likely left off on the subject of the evolution of weaving throughout the ages. As Dr. Secundus begins his lecture, you feel yourself slipping into slumber, but you can't. You have to try to stay awake. Why do you resist, Jaina? You try your best to shake yourself awake, clenching your fist and gritting your teeth. The sounds of the classroom are fading away. I need you. Why do you struggle so? At the very last, you attempt to call out to your classmates, but before you can open your mouth, sleep takes you. I am here. Hello?
Sorry. Sorry.
Faye jumps back, clutching her notebook. How is she doing, Faye? Did I fall asleep again? This is becoming a problem, Jaina. Are you going to be a liability for this group?
No, I think I only fall asleep during class for some reason.
Another mystery. I wonder. There are few coincidences in life. Could this be connected to the disappearances?
I trust Jaina, but besides, we can think about this later. We have homework.
Yes, the homework. While you were resting, Jaina, Dr. Secundus gave us an assignment to learn about each other. It is supposed to help us with future bonding. Judging by the position of the sun, I'd say we have time for only one of us to speak. I volunteer you, Jaina.
Wait, Jaina, how are you feeling?
Still kind of sleepy? Sorry. Right, sure. Why don't you choose then, Jaina? Faye and Alexander turn to face you. Faye seems concerned and Alexander appears slightly annoyed, but both await your decision. What's your story, Faye?
Me? Are you sure? Well, okay, here goes. When I was little, I got sick a lot. Like, a lot. I couldn't go outside or play with other kids or anything. Wait, where did your stutter go? Alexander, shush. I was miserable. I was locked up, had to eat special food, take special medicine, all just to end up alone. Until one day, a traveling weaver visited. It was a big occasion, rare to have such individuals grace our small village. Obviously, I heard people talking about her, about the wondrous things she could make for the right price. My family didn't have much. Keeping me safe took a lot from my parents, but I just had to see her. I tried to slip out, but was caught right away. A sickly girl didn't really stand much of a chance sneaking out of the house. I cried a lot that night. It was unfair. Life was unfair. But then, the next morning, when my tears had dried, there was a knock on my door. I couldn't open it myself, so there wasn't much I could do but wait. With a creak, it opened, and there, with my parents, was the weaver. I was stunned. Her immaculate long jacket, her fashionable belts, her face mask. Her immaculate long jacket, her fashionable belts, her face mask, and the looms at her wrist. I remember it all. She asked me my name, and I told her, Faye. I was too stunned to say anything else. I just sat there in silence. She sat with me for a while, weaving with her looms, talking to me, asking about my life. I'll admit I could hardly pay attention, so focused as I was on her weaving. Her hands moved at incredible speed, and her looms glowing with magic. And before I knew it, she presented me with a mask, the mask I wear now, a woven mask that would let me out of that lonely room. My parents tried to pay the weaver, but she refused. After making sure my mask was secure, she winked at me and left. I never even asked her name. But finally, at last, I could be free. I could go outside, go to school, learn and play. And there was only one thing I wanted to do with my newfound freedom. I wanted to weave, to help other kids like me, or anyone else. Faye finishes with a half-hearted flourish before retreating back into her hoodie. She looks at you and Alexander expectantly. What an inspiring tale, Faye. Thanks, I like weaving, but I like telling stories too. If weaving doesn't work out, you can definitely write. I think I'll just do both. You can tell Faye is proud and beaming behind her mask. Alexander is looking at her with newfound respect. You all walk back to the dorms, chatting and discussing plans for the future. The looming threat of the disappearances all but forgotten. Night falls, alone at last. You crawl into your bed, put your head on the pillows, pull the covers up, and wait. And you shall free me from this purgatory. End of day 3. Right, stop the recording, save this as Adelia Faye Day 3. Let's see.
Um. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm currently just checking the Discord to see if I missed anything. And I haven't, so far at least. Alright, back to doing this. New project. Track, insert new track, arm, mute. Alright then, record. Day 4. After a restless night, you groggily make your way to class. Yawning loudly, you step into the classroom to find your classmates already waiting for you. Most of them. There you are. See, Faye? I told you there was nothing to worry about. Faye, who was buried in her notebook ever since you entered, doesn't look up. A loud beeping noise echoes in the classroom.
Hi, Jaina.
Is everything okay? I'm sorry I'm late. Had trouble sleeping last night. Jaina and sleep. And here I thought you were an inseparable duo.
Val, stop bothering her and help me hold this mechanism in place. Why is it going off now?
Yes, ma'am. Faye glances up from her notebook as Tech and Val try to muffle the offending mechanism.
Those two keep arguing about mechanism this and mechanism that. It's good to have you back, Jaina.
The Wolf Group is late too. The Wolf Group is late too, not to mention our teacher. I presume we'll have Headmaster Daniel again today, but he hasn't shown up either. We're almost at 15 minutes. Just a few more. I have never seen someone so eager to rob themselves of an education they've elected to pursue.
Val, the mechanism needs more pressure.
With a muffled yelp, Val attempts to smother the mechanism with his jacket. After a few moments of struggle, the beeping finally stops. Sounds like the Raven Group is keeping themselves busy at least.
It's a little distracting.
How's the writing going, Faye? You're buried in your notebook more than usual.
It's fine, you know. Just some ideas.
I'm starting to get concerned. I would have expected the teacher to have shown up by now. No sooner has Alexander finished his prophetic statement does the Headmaster Daniel burst into the classroom, looking slightly disheveled. Greetings, students. I apologize for the lateness. There have been new developments in the case of the disappearances that are keeping me occupied. Finally. Oh, come on, we were 2 minutes off. If you were expecting class, I must disappoint you. As you have noticed, Valen and Mazarek went missing this morning.
Not that too.
I had my suspicions, but you don't mean you're cancelling class, do you? Not just class. If we cannot provide a safe environment for our students, Adelia will have no choice but to close. Sounds good to me. Pack it all up, Dak. We're done here.
Now, I refuse to believe it. Headmaster, if the source of the disappearances can be stopped, will classes resume?
That is our hope, but that is for the faculty. That is our hope, but that is for the faculty to worry about. It is far too dangerous for students to be wandering around after this latest escalation.
Then what should we do?
Please head back to your dorms for now. We will notify you when either the situation has been resolved or we have established a way to safely send you all home.
What about our tuition? We're missing days of class. What about our tuition? We're missing days of class, if not more.
You will be compensated, of course. Now, if you will excuse me, I must meet with Dr. Secundus about the latest developments. Headmaster Daniel hurries out of the classroom, leaving you and your remaining classmates to wonder about your next steps. He expects us to just give up? No, I came here to study weaving, and some mysterious force that's kidnapping students and teachers won't get in my way. How are we going to stop it? We had some ideas to start with, but we haven't had time to really follow through them. We haven't had time to really follow through with them. Well, thanks to Val's help, I've managed to get the Automecha detector cube out of beta. Now it just needs some field calibration, maybe some more adjustments. Oh, and a couple more features. We can use it to just sit back and let whatever is behind this come to us. Then bam! Catch it or something. I thought you were happy to have classes cancelled, Val. I'm surprised you want to help. A day off every now and then is great. But I really am interested in weaving. And you intend to use that box thing, Automecha detector cube, to capture the source of the problem? That doesn't seem very feasible. What if it doesn't work? What if it breaks and you're next? Thanks to Val, it's constructed with TKX method components, and thanks to me, I'm sure it will work perfectly. After some more testing and tweaking. If only I had more data. That doesn't sound great. What do you suggest then, Alexander? Like I said a couple of days ago, we just have to find out what sort of secrets Adelia is hiding. The library is sure to have all sorts of old tomes. We can look through. That sounds like too much work. That sounds like way too much work. Do you even know how to read? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you even know how to read? I'm sorry. That was rude. You don't even know if your solution exists. My mechanisms are physically here and real, and they will work. We don't have the time to look for old stories. Suit yourself. Looks like we won't be working together after all. Jane, what do you think? You can go with Tech and Val if you really want to. Faye shifts nervously, waiting for your decision, while Alexander taps his food impatiently. You look over to Tech and Val gives you a friendly wave. Will you stay with Faye and Alexander, searching old legends? Or will you join Raven in their mechanical endeavors? Don't worry, Faye. I'm staying with Hawk. Whatever there is to find in Adelia's history, we'll find it. Yay! One less pair of hands to help out, but I'm sure Val can pick up the slack. But really, good luck.
Let's stop wasting time then.
Hurrying out of the classroom, you bid farewell to Dragonfable before Hurrying out of the classroom, you bid farewell to Dragonfable before following Alexander and Faye to the library. You enter the library with Faye and Alexander to find stacks upon stacks of bookshelves, stretching far above you, finally reaching a glass ceiling, though through which shines the remaining daylight. You turn to ask Alexander where he thinks you should start. Stop. I know you're hiding something, Jaina. Your sleeping habits are connected to this somehow.
Alexander, what are you talking about? I'm not sure how that's relevant.
Jaina's been having trouble staying awake in class almost every day, and almost every day someone's gone missing. Headmaster Danielle said the disappearances are happening on school grounds in the morning.
But no one went missing yesterday.
As far as we know, could have been someone who wasn't in our class. And then this morning, when two students go missing, you show up later than usual.
What about the people who went missing before we arrived? I couldn't have been responsible for that.
Okay, I don't have all the answers. Maybe everything doesn't line up perfectly, but you have to admit, it's suspicious.
I don't think you're just lazy like Val. Your sleeping is too convenient for that. Is there anything you can tell us about it? Anything at all?
You're going to think I'm crazy.
Never. I write all kinds of stories. Anything is possible.
So there is something you've been keeping from us. Do share.
I've been seeing glowing eyes when I sleep, like a recurring dream. First there were 2, but then 4, then 6 and 8. Whoever those eyes belonged to spoke to me. Something about needing me, about freeing it. Spooky.
And very concerning.
So, do you know what the eyes mean?
No, but a recurring dream that gets more severe each time. That lines up even more with the timeline since you arrived, which means it's another lead to follow.
Right, we can look for stories about dreams and eyes and disappearances.
It also means we have to make sure Jaina doesn't leave her side, Faye. Jaina, I refuse you to actively mean us harm, but you're connected to this. Whether that's to our advantage or not, we'll see.
Then let's get to the root of the problem before it's too late.
Agreed. Let's see. Looks like Adelia's history is in that section.
Let's get going.
I'm sure we'll find the answer. We have to. We're the best after all. End of day 4. Stop this recording. Save this. Save project as Adelia Faye. Day 4. And then a new project. Insert track on. Now then. Let's get started. Day unknown. As you turn through some pages with Alexander, Faye stumbles back to the group with a pile of books taller than her.
Okay, I might have gotten carried away, but I got everything that might even. But I got everything that might even be barely related to Jaina's problem.
Thanks, Faye. Here, look at this one I found. The Calamity of Hawkscry. It's a bit faded, but what I can make out sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Following the explosion, the ground tore open, and the academy and the surrounding city crumbled into the fissure.
That reminds me of the story Dr. Secundus told us.
Yeah, what was it? With the mighty roar, their once tranquil forest was split in twain, swallowing all in the path of its cavernous maw. Maybe whatever caused the Hawkscry calamity is doing it again.
Good thinking, Faye. Judging by the stack of books you've brought back, you must have something to share.
I brought everything I could find. This book about nightmares seems relevant. It's really interesting. Weavers have a lot of bad dreams.
You spent some time with Alexander and Faye going through the books. Alexander is scanning the book about nightmares Faye suggested, while Faye appears to be taking notes. How about this? Scar. The Watching Eyes. Looks like it's about eyes that appear in dreams, usually bad ones, but only 2, not 8 like you've been seeing, Jania.
Seems like the closest fit we've seen so far. Tell us more about this scar, Alexander.
Right. Seems like it's Alexander, Jaina. Retake. Alexander, Jaina. I'm certain I told you to return to your dorms. What are you doing here? Headmaster Daniel, we've made progress. We've made progress. That is, we think, that whatever is... we think whatever is happening is related to the...
Oh, wait, Alexander.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Is something wrong, Faye?
Yeah, weren't you working on something with Dr. Secundus? What are you doing here in the library?
That business was concluded. I thought I'd visit the library to see if there was anything I'd missed. It appears your group had the same thoughts. Rather exemplary.
No, that doesn't sound right. Faye has a point. You showed up right on time to interrupt me from explaining my theory about Scar being behind everything. Alexander!
What an interesting direction to pursue your investigation.
Well, I don't know if we're exactly pursuing the investigation, so to speak. We kind of just now stumbled upon it. Yeah, we have no idea what's going on, she said bravely and convincingly.
I can teach you more about Scar if you wish.
We do need all the information we can get. Alexander, wait, something is not right about this.
You will be educated. Now, listen closely.
Wait, what? Jaina! Alexander, help! Something's happening to Jaina!
What are you doing to her? Come on, stay awake, Jaina.
I can't.
At last, Jaina. At last I have you.
You struggle to open your mouth, to move your arms, your legs, but your body won't obey.
Introductions are in order. I am Scar, free at last.
You try to look around, but your eyelids refuse to so much as twitch. A scream wells up in your chest. Anything, a breath, a whimper. Nothing escapes.
And you, Jaina, I know you. I know all about you. I know what even you don't know about you. I know this world, this dream of yours, and I know your world. Memories and mana eternally flowing. Information just out of reach of visibility. Now I have you, you have me, and we will unleash that which slumbers. What is this?
I won't let you ever.
She's my rival. No one else will be able to push me to compete. No offense, Faye.
None taken. And me another book, please.
Stop this! Stop this at once! How dare you!
Suddenly, breath hits your lungs as a wave of relief washes over you. Everything is in its place. You open your eyes and see where Headmaster Daniel once stood. Now stands an amorphous being of light. With the visage you saw introduce itself as Scar. A book flies through the air, striking the being on the head.
Such insolence! I have not worked this hard only to be defeated by the likes of such malformed memories.
You watch as Faye hurls another dusty tome at Scar, landing another solid thump.
Faye, Alexander, what happened?
Headmaster Daniel transformed into whatever this is. Scar, I assume. And you just kind of collapsed.
We were so worried, but then Alexander realized.
I figured it must have been the glowing things you saw in your sleep. I figured this must have been the glowing thing you saw in your sleep. And then Faye just started hurling books at it.
Nothing to lose, right?
Thank you. Thank you. It was terrifying. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move.
I am still free. I can still reach you.
Faye throws another book, interrupting Scar.
Shut it! We're having a moment.
Scar said this was all a dream. All my dream. And I guess it's trying to control me in order to control the dream. A dream. No. That can't be. It's impossible.
We're here for you, Jaina, no matter what.
Enough. I tried to do this nicely. I try to simply subsume your mind's creation, Jaina. But if it will take a nightmare to break you, then a nightmare you shall have.
With a wave of his hand, Faye and Alexander suddenly fall to the ground. Scar floats slowly towards you, its light growing ever brighter.
Faye! Alexander!
You hurry to your companions. You hurry to your companions. They are asleep. Scar inches closer and closer, relishing in your despair.
They cannot help you, Jaina. You're all alone with me.
You could probably try to wake up one of your companions. But with Scar gliding closer to you. But with Scar gliding closer to you, it seems like you'll only have time to help one of them. It's time to choose. Sorry, Alexander. I choose Faye. You reach over and shake Faye, calling her name.
Faye! Faye! Wake up! I need your help!
Faye blinks slowly before sitting upright. Faye blinks slowly before sitting upright and looking around. Her eyes fall upon Scar, who suddenly lashes out with two appendages, wrapping around Alexander and Faye, grabbing them by their ankles and pulling them slowly into the light. You throw a book at Scar, but it dodges easily out of the way with a twitch of its head.
Come on, Faye. I know you can think of something. I got it!
Faye pulls out her notebook and starts writing furiously as Scar reels in your friends. You reach out for Alexander, but his unconscious body disappears into the light.
Faye! Grab my hand!
Faye gives you a shy smile. Her pencil writing line after line, even as she's consumed by the light.
It's a dream, right? That means it's just a story, like any other. And I'll write one with a happy ending for all of us.
You blink. Is it over? As everything comes into focus, you find yourself in an opulent palace, shining with marble and gold. You rub your eyes and see...
Now that I have Scar's powers, I can take over the dream. There's nothing you can stop me, Jaina. You've lost!
Faye, what are you talking about?
I'm kidding. I thought that would be funny. I'm glad you're okay. Where's everyone else? What happened to Scar? Where are we? I guess it wasn't entirely a joke. I wrote Scar out of the story. What do you mean? Where's everyone else? Scar wasn't lying. This really is just your dream, which means you have to wake up at some point. Where in one of my stories, not one of the ones involving the other students. I thought maybe we can go on an adventure, just the two of us, before you have to go. I see. Faye, that sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Faye smiles, grabbing onto your arm and walking with you as you open the doors of the palace. Together, you step out into the awaiting world of Faye's construction. We'll have to wake up, but not for a little while. Let's have our adventure first. Okay, right, let's stop recording, save this as Adelia Faye question mark. Ah, damn it, you can't save it as question marks. Let me then just make certain it saves in the correct place. Delia, Faye, they, unknown. Alright then, file, new project, track, insert new track arm and balance. Adventure Friends 2, Delia, a new day. Good morning, test subject 364. How are we feeling today? Really? You seem to recognize me, at least. That's a good sign. A good sign, yes. That was that less traumatic than last time? I think it was more serious, at least. Yep, I added in some quintessence to this this year's batch of love potions. To this year's batch of potions, thanks to Nurse Love's suggestions. Should have helped stabilize things somewhat. I think I saw some sort of dragon-headed creature. It called itself Scar and was trying to take over my dream? Or me? And what day is it? That felt like it took forever. I'm sure I'm forgetting something important I should have been doing. Nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about with any of that, baby. Dreams are magical after all, and they're not real. You probably just heard some names or something and your brain smooshed it all together. You've only been sleeping for 3 hours anyway. So whatever you have to do, you'll be fine. Wasn't it a few days? It felt like weeks. Oh, my head. But the way the dream ended, maybe that could have lasted a little longer. Well, that's enough of that. Looks like we're on the right path. Nurse, please, help me evacuate this chair for the next patient. Right this way, Jane. After you. By the way, I have a little treat for you. I see the longing behind those eyes. Here, a souvenir. One for every student we met. Adventure Friends 2, A New Day, completed. Anything can happen in dreams. Okay, so that was, as I stopped this recording, that was me recording everything. And I have saved, I have an idea, Adelia, and a new day. This will be its own video, so that you can ignore it at your own leisure, which I think is nice. But yeah, this will be everything for Faye. I have all the roles recorded, now I just need to edit it all, which will take a while. To be honest, that will take a long while before I have it all. However, I do think that that is everything for this year, for this now. It will be a shorter episode because 1.5 hours means that there's not enough time for me to actually work on the others, record the others now. I will probably finish editing everything for Face Route this week sometime, if I find the time with all the other things that are going on. However, I think that this would be a good point to end it on, and then every first stream of the month from now on I will go ahead and I will go ahead and record some raws for this. Yeah, that seems good. So I will see you all next week when I go back to doing the inn and failing at that. And I look forward to seeing you then. Goodbye.